Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone. Glad to see people who is watching our broadcast. My name is Andrei Kogan. I'm from Israel. I'm foreign correspondent of the IVER. And today we will talk about the Israeli-India relations. And we will talk about the visit of Benjamin Netanyahu, which is right now in India. Um, So first of all, I would like to ask if everyone who is watching this broadcasting is hearing my voice. You can write down the comment. Just a minute. Okay. So basically, I will start with a short brief of Indian-Israeli relations, just to make understand the whole picture of the relations of the two countries, which is very interesting and very important, I guess, for the both countries, like both main players in international area. So the history of Israel and the Indian relations comes back to the 1948, since the State of Israel was established. And first of all, India as a state refused to recognize Israel as an independent state. It happens, I guess, because of some reasons, like first of all, the policy of Nehru, which didn't like the Zionist movement, and was more looked more to the Arab countries. The second reason, I guess, of the cold relations, it was a chance to make the relations between India and another Muslim countries bad, because most of the Muslim countries they didn't recognize Israel as a state till nowadays. And India, I guess, thought that the policy of recognition of Israel will be problematic in future relations with another Muslim countries. And also, it was a diversity, and it was a split between the ideology of Israel and India, because Israel was belonged to the Western Bloc, and back in the 50s and back to the 48, India was belonged to the Eastern Bloc, more to Soviet Union, while Israel stand together with United States. I guess that was the problematic issue of recognition of Israel at the beginning. And during all the period, the relations was kind of cold. It was always upside and ups and downs between the two countries. And finally, in between the years 1989 and 1992, finally the relations started to be normal. It was normalization between the relations to two countries. And after that, Israel and India, 25 years ago, actually they established a normal and healthy relations between each other. I would like to say, as the two countries, Israel and India, have a lot of similarities. Jewish people, Israel as a country of Jewish people, and India, they have same issues that we are dealing together. We have same issues that we stand together. And I guess the Jewish people, like Indian people, it's both of two ancient nations with a rich history. Both of the countries were were under the British mandatory. Both of the countries got their independence more or less in the same time. India got it in 47, Israel got it in 48, after the British went away from the territory of India, and also from then it's called mandatory Palestine, and after that it was created a country of state of Israel. So in this case, we have a lot of in common. Like also, India is a country of a lot of minorities, a lot of religions. Same in Israel, like in India, you can find a big minority, significant minority of Muslims. Same here in Israel, which is remind situation in two countries. Both countries are dealing with the with the terror, with the terrorism and terror attacks, surrounded by hostile countries, have a territory conflict like West Bank and Gaza and Israel, and Kashmir issue in north of India. So, and also Israel and India have a lot of similarity among the agricultural issues and the water issues. So that's the reason, I guess this is the main reason that our government and the Indian government found a common language to stand for each other and to represent their own interests, but by helping to promote another interests of each country. So I would like to first of all to address the visit of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to India. It starts with a first visit by Narendra Modi to Israel. It was a historical visit. Narendra Modi himself was in Israel in frame of a work visit as Prime Minister of Gujarat, and he was in Israel in 2006, but yet he wasn't the Prime Minister of India, so it was only a working visit. And a Israeli Prime Minister never been in India too, so it's first time when Benjamin Netanyahu going there as a official visit to discuss a lot of issues of cooperation between Israel and India. I think, by my personal opinion, it's a very important moment in the history of both countries, because it shows us that our relations are located at the best point we ever. It reached the best point, the highest point we ever been as two countries, and it's kind of historical because this visit first of Narendra Modi to Israel in 2017 last year, and current visit of Netanyahu to India will also bring more of cooperation in a lot of areas like defense, economy, agricultural technologies, water technologies, which Israel is very advanced in. So first of all, if you have a questions, you can write it here in the comments. I will try to answer everyone here. You're welcome. You're more than welcome, and feel free to ask me everything you want regards the policy of Israel towards India, and from the other side about the relations of India and Israel, like everything. It would be nice to answer you all. So I was asked to talk about some let's say burning issues, like hot topics, that is concerning not only the Indian side, but only concerning our society here in Israel. So first of all, I would like to start with all of the maybe you heard the Israeli military development company called Rafael supposed to make a deal with the Indian government for anti-tank missiles of missiles, very advanced and progressive missiles, which is the deal is worth 800 million of dollars, if I remember right. So the Indian government and this Israeli company Rafael was about to make. They actually made a deal, but eventually the Indian government canceled the deal, and um they commented that like if India will buy Israeli warfare products, of it will stop India for their inner technical development regards the modern warfare systems and weapons. So so first of all, that was the reason, and I guess it's if we will look at this way, it's comprehensible, it's understood, because right now we can see a tension between China regards all the India-Pakistan conflict and all of the Indian-Pakistan issues. So India wants, as much as I understand that India wants to modernize their own army by their own products. So the logic between Indian decision is we will not buy Israeli warfare technologies because it will prevent us to develop our own systems. So for the questions of Rajesh Kaninwal, okay, what Israeli people think about Indians? Be truthful, okay? First of all, it depends. I'm by myself. I'm a student of Asian studies with a focus on modern India and Hindi language. So, as myself and as a student in Israeli Academy, I can admit that students who study about India see a lot of potential, uh, a lot of wonderful things in India as a country, about the Indians as a people, as a society, despite the differences between the cultures and the religion of Hinduism and Islam, which is dominating also in India. Uh, so if we look at the academic level, the people really understand how much India is important, how much India is interesting subject, and how much is important to understand the history of India, the culture of Indian people, and the culture of Indian people, and that we will say like we really appreciate the Indian culture and Indian people. If you will ask simple people, I guess they will tell you they are admire Indians because the support in Israel. Because in the last years, I guess in the last years, like since Mr. Modi was elected to be a prime minister of India in 2014, we can see a lot of positive comments about Indians and about the true friendship of India and Israel, and of true friendship of Indian people toward the Israelis. By myself, I was twice in India. I still have their friends, a lot of friends. I keep in touch with them, and For me, India is one of the, I don't know, it's my personally passion about history of culture of India, but I guess in a general level, simple people will really nice, uh, will think good about India. Um, so you're welcome. You're welcome. If you want to ask something more, I will answer. Another issue I want to talk about is Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Maybe you are aware about the decision of Donald J. Trump, the president of the United States, to recognize Jerusalem as a capital of Israel. It made a lot of noise around all around the world in Western and Eastern countries, in Christian or Muslim countries everywhere. The United Nations, after the declaration of Donald J. Trump, the United Nations called to vote for this declaration. Most of the countries were against. They were against American declaration and decision. So in this point, we also witnessed India standing in the camp who was against the American decision, which is supporting the Palestinians. But first of all, I must be very careful with my words, and uh, I will talk about, by my opinion, why Indian government made this decision to vote against American declaration. But first of all, I want to talk also as a historian who also dealing with Middle Eastern history and Middle Eastern history and Islam history. I want to first of all to address to the issue of Jerusalem as the capital city of Israel or capital city of Palestine, and what is the problem between all of these sides, all of these opinions. So basically, as you know, Jerusalem is a holy city for three religions: for the Christians, from the Jews, and from the Muslims. So basically, everyone, like when I'm talking about Israeli-Palestinian conflict, everyone from the side is claiming Jerusalem as their own state. Muslims says in all over the world, all over around the world, the Muslims claiming that is a Muslim place and the Jews don't have nothing to do there. So they're trying to cancel the Jewish identity of the city. They're trying to deny the Jewish history of Jerusalem. So when we are looking back to the history, first of all, when we are talking about Jerusalem as a Muslims, we must ask ourselves two questions. Okay, two simple questions. How many times the word Jerusalem, Urshalim in Arabic, and the most popular name Al-Quds, how many times the word Jerusalem is mentioned in the Noble Quran? The answer is 0, because Jerusalem was never mentioned in Quran, never mentioned in Quran, in Muslim holy book. It was never mentioned there. And I must repeat and say it again. There is some surah chapter in Quran. It's called Surah Al-Isra. Surah Al-Isra. It's the night journey of the Prophet Muhammad to the Masjid Al-Quds, Masjid Al-Aqsa, which means Masjid Al-Aqsa, the far mosque. But the word Urshalim or Al-Quds is not mentioned in Quran, and after that it was it became to be a legacy that the Prophet Muhammad made all of this journey night journey when he came, when he went up to the skies on his mythological creature Al-Buraq. So Muslims believe he did it. He went up to the skies from Jerusalem, from the Al-Aqsa mosque. But this mosque, Al-Aqsa mosque, historically we can find it in Saudi Arabia. So it became to be just something like more like folklore. Yes, we not deny that Muslims have their connection to Jerusalem, and we don't deny their own freedom of worship there. Actually, you know, the Jews can't, they can't pray on the area of the Mount Temple, where is the Masjid Al-Aqsa located. So the Jews can go and pray there, but the Muslims can pray there. So that's the first issue. Second issue is how many times the word Palestine mentioned in Quran. As well, zero. Palestine not mentioned in Quran. How come it's became to be Palestine? Palestine is name that was given only after Romanian destruction of the second Jewish temple, and after the exile of the Jews. Okay, before that it called Provincia Judea, which is mean province of Judea, of the Jews. So in this case, I would like to say that historically it was always Israel. The Jews always lived there, even after the exile. Small communities like Jews in Hebron, Jerusalem, in Safed, in Tzfat, always lived there. So in this case, I would must say that Jerusalem is holy place to the Jews, because in our in Jewish holy books, Jerusalem mentioned more than 600 times. The Muslims came to Jerusalem only by the conquering of the city by the second Caliph Omar ibn Khattab in 634. Okay, so it was like 600 plus 600 years after Jesus Christ was born. So Israel and the Jewish people always felt the connection to Jerusalem. The Jewish people always lived in Jerusalem, even in small numbers, but the Jewish people historically have their own rights to claim this land as their own homeland. And the Jewish people and the Jewish state don't want to transfer the Palestinians. They don't want to move them away from the Israel, from the borders of Israel. Actually, in Israel by itself, there is a 20% of Arabic population, which most of them are Muslims, and Israel give them all of the rights, all of the citizen rights. They giving them freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of worship. You know, actually, the third biggest party in Israeli parliament is Arabic Bloc. It's Arabic Party. It's a union of 4 Arabic political parties. So when someone telling to me that Israel is an apartheid state, is just a lies. I always ready to discuss with someone about some issues, but we will not stand some lies and some unbased facts. You know, unbased facts, unbased stories. So back to the recognition of Donald J. Trump to Jerusalem. Donald J. Trump said that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, and we must to move our embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Palestinians said it's not accepted. It's not acceptable, and of course, all of the another Muslim countries said it's not acceptable for them. So the United Nations just called for emergency vote upon this issue. When we're asking ourselves if India and Israel are such a good friends, why India didn't stood for Israel in this case? I guess the main reason is the relations of India with another Gulf, Persian Gulf, Arabic countries. So there is a lot of Indian workers in Arabic countries in the Gulf, and I think India have a lot of connections and a lot of relations with another Muslim countries, and I think if India if India would stand in this case for Israel, they will lose the relations with another Muslim countries. For me, it's sad, but we here can understand this move. We can understand why the Indian administration decided to vote against Donald J. Trump. So, but Israel was, Jerusalem was always a capital city of Jewish people, of Israel. So it doesn't matter if someone recognizes it or not. Other Jewish people will believe that was and will be, and now it's capital state of Israel. I hope Indian politicians and Indian leadership will soon recognize that and establish their embassy also there. So until now, case of Trump and Jerusalem. If you want to ask me something regards that, I would like to answer you all everything about it. Okay, just a minute. Okay, guys, so I also would like to talk about, I was asked to talk about all of this Indian and Israeli-Indian relations in the field of agricultural and water technologies. So I would like to address that most of our mutual relations and most of our cooperative work goes around water and agricultural technology, because since Israel is a dry and desert country, it was at the beginning, it was full of marshes and full of desert. First of all, we didn't had a lot of rain, and still now we don't have a lot of rain. It's a quite dry country, and dry country with no with few sources of sweet water, drinkable water. So basically Israel didn't had a lot of water to drink, and also Israel didn't had a lot of water for agricultural industry. So somehow Israel, you see Israeli people, they are very creative. So when Israel started to think about the solution back to the 50s, step by step, Israel starts to invent some advanced water and agricultural technologies, and to export them outside from Israel. And I think India, by my opinion, still have a lot of issues with water cleaning and with agricultural technology, and I think Israel can help a lot, and Israel can teach a lot, not only India but the rest of the world. I mean, I say everything in a good way, because it's true that Israel is a startup nation. Israelis are always were the creative. Like, I mean, I'm not saying Israelis people most creative people in the world, no, but something in Israeli people makes us to make everything to be more creative, I guess, because we have small territory, we don't have a lot of resources, there is no oil, there is no brilliance, there is no diamonds, there is no wood, there is no sweet water in Israel, there is no no gold, no some natural resources. So basically all what we have is sand and the sea. So to survive, I guess Israeli people, we had to be very creative in order to to develop our country. So a lot of Israeli companies investing themselves in India, because India is big market, a lot of potential there, and also because we feel that we're truly, I mean, as Israelis, maybe I'm thinking personally like this, but I think Israeli people think that they can give to India a lot of knowledge in these cases. And for example, Benjamin Netanyahu just gave as a gift uh, to the government of India a water system to turn the salt water into a drinkable, uh, as a gift to the Indian people, Indian government. And I think in this case, Israel always ready. Israel always stand, and Israel will help to these people who to those countries who is ready to accept our help. I mean, so you can see it like everywhere. Israel sending their rescue teams in case of some earthquake in Nepal, in Haiti, and Israel as a country and as people trying to help to countries which have some issues of development. And we can we witness nowadays, we witness how the connection between Israel and India getting stronger and stronger, which by my opinion is amazing to see. Uh, and that's all what I would like to say in this case. If you have some questions, we will make just to see if we have some questions about it. Okay, we will talk about controversy in Israel regards Netanyahu and Kobe Maimon and all of the rest cases that Netanyahu was, let's say, still there is no proof he was involved, but some people blaming him in a corruption, which is make Israeli society very, very divided, because some people support Benjamin Netanyahu. They're saying that the people who want him down just telling unbased and false stories about his involvement in corruption. But and other people truly believe that Benjamin Netanyahu is corrupted. Right now, I must to say that I'm not taking any sides. I'm not saying if I support him or don't. But I will say right now that Benjamin Netanyahu wasn't found guilty in all of these cases of corruption he is blamed for. It was some witnesses of some let's say things that put in a bad light on Benjamin Netanyahu, like favors, like, once again, when I'm saying that, I don't know if it happens or not, and yet Benjamin Netanyahu still found he didn't found guilty yet, so we can say nothing if he is corrupted or not. But a lot of people are saying that how he's trying to help his friends, the tycoons, rich people, and for his help, he's asking to support in his policy and to stay on the chair as a prime minister of Israel. So one of the last cases which happened right now is a publication of the record of his son, Yair Netanyahu, who hanged out with the son of Kobe Maimon, which is another Israeli gas tycoon. So basically, in this record, you can hear son of Benjamin Netanyahu telling to the second one, "Come on, my father gave you 20 millions of 20 millions of 20 million milliard 20 milliard billions of dollar. Why you can give me just only 400 shekels?" Okay, so when Yair Netanyahu said my father, he means to Netanyahu, okay, and he said my father made to your father a great deal. He fought for this in a Knesset, in the parliament. So my father give you like $20 billion. Why you can give me only 400 shekel? So they said it like when they were like, someone says they were in some party, drunk, and in some strip clubs. But the fact is that the son of one of the strongest people in the Middle East and son of the leader of our country hanging out in some strip bars and drunk and just doing all of this. It makes a lot of Israelis be disappointed, to feel that the government not truly stand for them. They feel shame about this case, and for example, Yair Netanyahu using a security guards, okay, and the personal driver, which is given him by taxes of the simple people, the simple people. So basically, the simple people in Israel paying the taxes, and these taxes going for a driver and for the security of the son of the prime minister, and he's going to the strip clubs and drinking. So a lot of people don't like it, and that's the issue is about. It was several demonstrations in Israel regards the corruption in the Knesset, regards the problem of all of the let's call it hand culture. So I will give you something and you will give me after. So a lot of people in Israel are not satisfied with the current administration, and they want to change it. So that is the issue. If you personally ask me, I can't say nothing, because the case of corruption, it's very complicated, and I don't want to make some controversial declarations about that. So that is the case. Now the reputation of Benjamin Netanyahu, as I said, it's very, 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 very. It depends, because half of the people very support him and believes that another people trying to put him down, to bring him down, and another half of the people, they believe that he's truly corrupted. So the time will see, and the time will show us, and we will see in the future if he will be found guilty or not. For now, we just can observe the events from here, and give the police to do their own thing. Okay. Samar Singh Rathor, I hope I answered your questions. In general, Israel is there is a lot of diversity in Israel because Israel is a state of immigrants, and you have Jews from all over the world. You have a lot of diversity among the religious sects in Judaism. There is a lot of diversity among the people among diversity on political ideology. You know, Israel, it's not only black or white, or the thing is very complicated in this country, which makes Israel one of the interesting countries in the world. And there is a lot of similarity between Israel and India in this subject, because the population is very mixed and and have a lot of diversity. So in this case, there is a lot of inner and domestic issues in Israel, which is concerning our society, and it's not so easy to understand everything. But as much as I'm here, I will try to explain everything in the best way. You can always ask me and write here to the inbox. We will always stand here for you as a media and news agency, and we will try to bring you the best news, the best analytics of the situation, whatever it will happen in Israel or in India or in the States. So it was my pleasure to speak with you all, guys, and I hope you got some more information in those issues became to be more clear for you. So once again, you can write down every question here in comments and to the inbox. So thank you very much for the attention. See you next time. My name is Andrei Kogan from Israel, the Ever. Thank you.